Have you ever wondered what secrets George Washington, the first president of the United States, might have hidden in his life? Let's take a step back in time, to an era when America was just a fledgling nation, teetering on the brink of independence. Emerging from this turbulent period was a man of exceptional character, a man who would come to define the very essence of leadership. This man was none other than George Washington. Born into a family of modest means in the colony of Virginia, Washington's early life was marked by trials and tribulations. Despite the death of his father when he was merely 11 years old, he maintained a steadfast dedication to his education. He studied a variety of subjects ranging from mathematics to classical literature, revealing an insatiable curiosity and a thirst for knowledge. As Washington grew older, his natural leadership qualities began to shine. He was known for his humility, his unwavering integrity, and his capacity to inspire those around him. Washington was not simply a leader, he was a beacon of hope, a symbol of resilience in the face of adversity. And yet, he was a man of mystery. Behind his stoic facade, there were secrets, stories waiting to be told. He was more than just the first president of the United States. He was a man of flesh and blood, a man who loved, who grieved, who dreamed. He was a man who, despite his many accomplishments, remained humble and grounded. So as we delve deeper into Washington's life, we find a man who was not only a great leader, but also a complex individual. His life was a tapestry of triumphs and failures, of joy and sorrow, of love and loss. It is these facets of his life, these hidden corners of his existence, that make him a truly fascinating figure. A promising young man, Washington was destined for greatness. But little did he know the trials and tribulations that awaited him. Do you know what triggered Washington's entry into the military world and the American Revolution? As a young man, George Washington served in the British Army, not knowing that this was his first step into the military world. His initial service was marked by a series of missions and battles during the French and Indian War. Though he was a British subject at the time, this period was instrumental in shaping Washington's military acumen. But the seeds of discontent were already being sown. Washington, like many of his countrymen, was growing disillusioned with British rule. This discontentment eventually sparked the flame of revolution. Washington found himself at the forefront of this revolution, not as a British officer, but as the commander-in-chief of the newly formed Continental Army. What followed was a masterclass in strategic brilliance. Washington was not just a soldier, he was a military genius who understood the art of war. He was able to take a ragtag group of farmers and turn them into an army capable of standing toe-to-toe with the might of the British Empire. His strategies were innovative and daring, often defying conventional military wisdom. But perhaps, more than his tactical brilliance, it was Washington's unwavering courage that made him a beloved leader. He was a beacon of hope for a fledgling nation fighting for its freedom. Washington led from the front, sharing the hardships of his men and inspiring them to fight against overwhelming odds. His courage was infectious, and it galvanized the Continental Army to fight with renewed vigor and determination. In the face of adversity, Washington remained steadfast, his resolve unshaken. His leadership during the American Revolution was instrumental in the eventual victory of the Continental Army. It wasn't easy, and it wasn't without its share of losses, but Washington's military genius and his unwavering courage were the spark that ignited the flame of freedom. Washington, the military genius, was the beacon of hope America needed in its fight for freedom. But how did a military commander transition to the role of a president? A question that sparks intrigue, and the answer lies in the story of George Washington, the first president of the United States. After proving his leadership prowess on the battlefield during the American Revolution, Washington returned to civilian life. But his journey was far from over. The newly formed United States was in need of a leader, a figure who could guide the nation through its infancy. A unanimous choice of the Electoral College, Washington was elected the first president in 1789, marking the beginning of his journey to mold a young democracy. As president, Washington was stepping into uncharted territory. There were no precedents to guide him, no manuals to instruct him. Yet he rose to the occasion, navigating through the complexities of nation building with a steadfast commitment to democracy. Washington's approach to leadership was marked by a fervent desire to establish a strong central government. He believed in a system that would unify the states, foster economic growth, and ensure the rights of its citizens. His policies, from the creation of a national bank to the establishment of a cabinet system, were designed to promote these ideals. Yet, Washington was not a dictator. He understood the importance of balance in a democratic system. He was aware of the dangers of unchecked power and worked tirelessly to ensure that the government would be guided by the will of the people. This commitment to democratic principles was a cornerstone of his presidency. His tenure was not without its challenges. From foreign diplomacy to domestic disputes, Washington faced a myriad of issues, yet he handled each with grace and determination, setting a high standard for future leaders. His presidency was a testament to his dedication, his vision, and his unwavering commitment to the American people. Washington's presidency set a precedent, shaping the future of American politics. It was a presidency defined by its commitment to democracy and its efforts to establish a strong central government. A presidency that continues to inspire and guide leaders today. As we delve further into the life of this extraordinary man, let's remember that his story is not just history, but a lesson in leadership. How does a man become a legend, a symbol of a nation's identity? George Washington is not just a man, but a legacy. In his footsteps, he left an indelible imprint on the sands of time, shaping the course of a nation still in its infancy. His achievements were many, but it's the legacy he left behind that we remember most vividly today. Consider his farewell address, a document of profound wisdom and foresight. It set the tone for the future leaders of America. Washington warned against the dangers of political factions, highlighted the importance of unity, and promoted the idea of an independent American foreign policy. His words, though articulated over 2 centuries ago, still echo in the corridors of power today. And then there were the precedents he set. As the first president, Washington was in uncharted territory. Every decision he made, a potential precedent for those who would follow in his footsteps. He established the cabinet system in the executive branch, a tradition that continues to this day. He chose to serve only 2 terms, a practice that was later codified into law with the 22nd Amendment. His influence was not limited to politics alone. Washington was a pioneer in agriculture, introducing innovative farming methods to his Mount Vernon estate, promoting crop rotation and animal husbandry. These practices, aimed at sustainable farming, were ahead of his time and continue to be relevant today. Washington's legacy is not just in the tangible achievements, but in the intangible ideals he embodied and left behind. His character, his integrity, his unwavering commitment to the nation. These are the sparks that ignited the flame of American identity. So, when we ask, how does a man become a legend, a symbol of a nation's identity, we find the answer in the life and legacy of George Washington. His influence, his ideals, his actions, they all resonate through time, shaping the America we know today. Yes, Washington's influence does indeed resonate through time, shaping the America we know today. Scene script. Are you curious to know the man behind the legend, the human beneath the hero? George Washington, the first president of the United States, the commander of the Continental Army, the man on the dollar bill. But who was he when the public eye wasn't watching? What did he value? What did he enjoy? Peeling back the layers of history, we find a man who was passionate about farming. Yes, you heard it right, farming. It was Washington's great love, his retreat from the world of politics and war. His home, Mount Vernon, was not just a residence, but a sprawling plantation that he tended to with care and precision. He was a pioneer in crop rotation and animal husbandry, using his lands as a testing ground for new agricultural techniques. And then there was his wife, Martha. Theirs was not a fiery passion of youth, but rather a deep and enduring bond formed over 4 decades of marriage. They were a team sharing the burdens and blessings of life together. There are letters that speak of their mutual respect, their shared laughter, and the comfort they found in each other's company. But what about the man himself? What kind of character did he have? Well, he was known for his honesty, a trait that has been immortalized in the Cherry Tree Tale, where a young George supposedly confessed to cutting down his father's tree, uttering the famous line, "I cannot tell a lie." While this story is more myth than fact, it embodies the essence of Washington's character. He was a man of integrity, who believed in doing what was right, even when it was difficult. He was a leader not just by title, but by example, setting a standard for future presidents. and indeed for all Americans. Washington was not just a figurehead, a face on our currency, or a name in our history books. He was a man of the soil, a devoted husband, and a beacon of honesty and integrity. Washington was more than a president. He was a man of virtue and integrity. Did Washington harbor any secrets, any mysteries lost in the pages of history? Let's delve into the less trodden paths of George Washington's life, where myths and lesser-known facts abound. Now, you may have heard the tale of Washington's wooden teeth. The truth, however, is a bit more complex and, dare I say, intriguing. His dentures weren't made of wood, but of a variety of materials, including ivory from hippopotamus and elephant gold, and even human teeth, some possibly sourced from his own slaves. It's a curious fact that speaks volumes about the dental practices of the era and the lengths Washington went to maintain his image as a strong leader. Next, let's address the question of lineage. Despite being a father figure to a nation, Washington himself had no biological children. His marriage to Martha brought 2 stepchildren into his life, but the couple never had offspring of their own. This fact has fueled speculation for centuries. Some suggest that a bout of smallpox in his younger years left him sterile. Others posit it was Martha who was unable to bear more children after her first 2. The truth remains buried with them, adding an air of intrigue to the Washington family tree. Finally, we turn to the circumstances of Washington's death, an event shrouded in mystery and medical curiosity. His demise was swift, following a throat infection that escalated quickly, defying the medical practices of the time. Some modern doctors speculate that he might have been the victim of aggressive bloodletting, a common treatment then, which could have hastened his end. A fittingly enigmatic end for a man of such stature. Even a man as great as Washington had his own share of mysteries and secrets. These facets of his life, though lesser known, paint a fuller, more human portrait of America's first president. They remind us that history, like the people who make it, is complex, fascinating, and full of surprises. What makes George Washington an enduring icon of American history? This question has been our guide as we've journeyed through the chapters of his life, unearthing the man of mystery, the call to arms, the first president, the legacy left behind, and the man behind the legend. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned. George Washington, a man of humble beginnings, rose to become a beacon of hope and leadership during America's fight for independence. His strategic acumen during the Revolutionary War, coupled with his unwavering courage and determination, played a pivotal role in shaping the United States of America. Then, as the first president, he set a precedent for all who would follow in his footsteps. He demonstrated a deep understanding of the delicate balance of power, and his wisdom in establishing the American political system remains revered to this day. He was a man of integrity, whose actions were guided by his belief in a democratic society where all men are created equal. Yet Washington was more than his political achievements. He was a man of character, a husband, a farmer, a friend. He was a man who valued honesty, hard work, and humility above all else. His personal traits, as much as his public deeds, have left an indelible mark on the fabric of American culture. His enduring influence stretches beyond the realm of politics and into the hearts of the American people. Even today, his legacy fuels the American spirit, inspiring us to strive for greatness, to uphold the principles of freedom and equality, and to continue the pursuit of the American dream. In essence, the life of George Washington is a testament to the power of resilience, the beauty of humility, and the strength of moral character. His life story continues to resonate, reminding us of the potential within each of us to shape our own destiny. George Washington, a man of many facets, remains a symbol of America's strength, perseverance, and quest for freedom. His life and legacy will forever be etched in the annals of American history.